Somewhere along the ancient trade routes of the Near East, over 3,500 years ago, a group of merchants stopped for the night. According to an old Roman legend recorded by the historian Pliny the Elder, they built their cooking fire directly on the sandy shore, resting their cooking pots on blocks of natron, a natural mineral salt they were transporting to trade. As the fire burned through the night, something strange happened. The intense heat fused the sand beneath the fire with the natron blocks, and by morning, a strange, glassy substance had formed where the flames had been. Whether this exact story is true or simply a beautiful legend, the underlying chemistry is real. Sand, combined with the right minerals and enough heat, transforms into something the ancient world had never truly seen before, a solid material you could see straight through. Archaeological evidence tells a slightly different, though no less remarkable, story. The earliest known glass objects date back even further, to ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt around 3,500 BCE, originally used not for windows or cups, but as a glaze coating on beads and pottery, a byproduct of ceramic and metalworking techniques that eventually revealed something extraordinary hiding inside ordinary sand. For centuries, this discovery remained rare and mysterious. Glass was not something you could simply choose to make. It required immense heat, precise proportions, and a knowledge passed carefully from craftsman to craftsman, kept as one of the ancient world's most closely guarded secrets. By 1500 BCE, Egyptian craftsmen had developed a technique known as core forming, wrapping molten glass around a removable clay core to create small vessels for perfumes, oils, and precious cosmetics. These early glass containers were treasured possessions, often found buried alongside pharaohs, valued as highly as gold and gemstones. Mesopotamia developed its own glass-making traditions alongside Egypt, and the two civilizations' techniques slowly spread outward along ancient trade networks. Glass beads, amulets, and small decorative objects began appearing in tombs and marketplaces from the Mediterranean to the edges of Persia, each one a small, shimmering symbol of wealth and status. But everything about glass at this stage remained painfully slow to produce. Every vessel had to be shaped individually around a core, cooled carefully, and polished by hand. A single cup could take a skilled craftsman days to complete. Glass remained the domain of royalty, priests, and the extraordinarily wealthy. Beautiful, but entirely out of reach for ordinary people. That would soon change, in a way nobody in the ancient world could have anticipated. Around 50 BCE, somewhere along the Syro-Palestinian coast, an unknown craftsman changed the entire trajectory of glassmaking forever. He discovered glassblowing, the technique of gathering molten glass on the end of a hollow tube and shaping it by breath alone. The effect was immediate and staggering. What once took days of careful hand-shaping around a core could now be formed in mere minutes. Glass vessels, once reserved exclusively for royalty, suddenly became achievable at a scale no one had imagined possible. Rome recognized the opportunity instantly. As the technique spread throughout the empire, Roman glassmakers refined it further, producing everything from simple household cups and storage jars to elaborate, decorative windows for the villas of the wealthy. Roman glass traveled along trade routes stretching from Britain to India, and for the first time in history, owning a glass cup no longer meant you were royalty. It simply meant you lived in a well-connected Roman town. Glass had taken its first true step from treasure to tool. After Rome's fall, glass-making knowledge scattered and slowed across much of Europe, but it never disappeared. In the Islamic world, craftsmen in Syria and Egypt continued refining glass techniques, developing intricate enameled and gilded glass objects prized across the medieval world for their beauty and precision. Meanwhile, on an island in the Venetian lagoon, something extraordinary was taking shape. In 1291, fearing the risk of fire spreading through Venice's densely packed wooden buildings, city officials ordered all glassmaking furnaces relocated to the island of Murano. What began as a safety measure accidentally created one of history's most legendary concentrations of glassmaking talent in a single location. Murano's glassmakers guarded their techniques as closely as any medieval guild ever had, forbidden by law from leaving the island, their secrets protected under penalty of death. The result was centuries of extraordinary innovation: clear, colorless crystal glass, known as cristallo, intricate mirrors, and delicate glasswork admired and imitated across all of Europe, even as no one outside Murano could quite replicate its exact quality. For centuries, glass remained a costly, labor-intensive material, still shaped largely by hand, one piece at a time. The Industrial Revolution changed that permanently. In the 19th century, new mechanical glass pressing and molding techniques allowed factories to produce glassware at speeds no craftsman could ever match by hand. Then, in 1903, an American named Michael Owens invented the first fully automatic bottle-making machine, capable of producing bottles by the thousands each hour, all without a single glassblower involved. What had once been one of humanity's rarest and most precious materials had become something manufactured by machine in staggering quantities at a fraction of the previous cost. Glass windows, once a luxury reserved for cathedrals and the homes of the wealthy, began appearing in ordinary homes across Europe and America. Glass jars preserved food safely for the first time at massive scale, transforming how households stored what they ate. What was once treasured as rare and mysterious had become, quite simply, everywhere. Today, glass has moved far beyond windows and bottles into territory the ancient world could never have imagined. Precisely engineered optical glass allows telescopes to peer into distant galaxies and microscopes to reveal the invisible architecture of living cells. Fiber optic glass, thinner than a human hair, now carries nearly all of the world's internet data as pulses of light traveling beneath oceans and across continents. Even the smartphone screen, resting in your pocket right now, is a form of glass, engineered to resist scratches and shattering in ways that would have seemed like magic to a Roman glassblower or a Murano craftsman guarding his island secrets. From a chance discovery on an ancient sandy shore to sand melted deliberately into windows, mirrors, and drinking cups, to a material now carrying light-based information around the entire globe. Glass has quietly shaped nearly every era of human civilization it has touched, transforming from a rare and mysterious treasure into something so common, most of us look straight through it every single day, without a second thought. Glass is one of the clearest reminders that some of the most powerful materials shaping our world started as nothing more than ordinary sand, transformed through patience, heat, and centuries of careful human curiosity. If this kind of hidden history fascinates you, subscribe to Everyday Empire. Every video uncovers another everyday object's forgotten story, and there's a lot more still buried in plain sight. Let me know in the comments which object you want uncovered next, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next deep dive.